Hello everyone, this is Sandra and thank you again for tuning in to another Journey to Authentic Living episode. This is quite impromptu video. Just got back from a workout, and as many of you already of my followers know, that sometimes after a nice walk I get all these epiphanies and all this inspiration, and it's all because of you and it's all because of my clients, and I just love you guys for it. Really, I'm better because of you, so thank you. Okay, so because it's kind of impromptu, hopefully I'll be able to articulate what I would like for this video. And this kind of has to do with, it's about personal development, right? For some of you that are so interested in that, and personal development, personal growth, and self-help are all interchangeable labels, meaning the same thing. So personal development is a lot about improving our lives, right? What's working, what's not working, what we want, what we don't want, or wants versus needs, really what that is, prioritizing, right? Work-life balance, all these good things, right? And so I don't have my earphones, so I might pause if there's a plane that goes by here. So I want you to imagine right now, I'm going to do kind of this circle, right? And I want you to imagine that this is your problem and you're stuck. You've got this problem with a relationship. You have this problem with your job, or maybe even your career. You may have done something for 20 years, 10 years, or whatever, and all of a sudden it's like you're not even done paying your university loans or something, and you want to change careers. It doesn't matter. That's a relationship too. It could be, like I said, this is your problem and you feel stuck. And within this circle of being stuck, you've got belief systems, you've got attitudes, you've got trauma, you've got insecurities, you've got internal references that go back even before this problem. You might even have a pattern going with this problem. Maybe this isn't the first time you've had this problem. You've experienced this problem maybe, in the remote past or in your childhood or what have you. Then you've got emotions, you've got a mentality, all of these things, right, that affect this problem and the solutions to this problem. So one of the things I want to say is that many times when somebody comes to a personal development coach like myself, or a therapist, right, they need therapy, something's wrong, they're not able to overcome this problem on their own, and they want to live whatever that goal is. They want to feel more fulfilled, they want to live peacefully, they want whatever that is, right? The secret is that it's not the therapist or the coach that is giving them that peace and that fulfillment and satisfaction and desire or passion for life, or whatever you want to call it, whatever that goal is, or a new career, or the courage, right? It's not like all of a sudden, I'm the fairy godmother and I put my magic wand on you and all of a sudden you become the enchanted individual that you want to be. You alone are the person that becomes the enchanted person you want to be. I'm the facilitator. The therapist is the facilitator. They facilitate you understanding not so much the problem, understanding how you are participant of that problem, how you attracted that problem, how you are the problem and you are the solution. And many times there is a language, right? So for example, when therapists or coaches or just normal everyday people use language like, I'm just going to throw out phrases. So for example, you're the master of your own destiny, or just like you heard me right now, you are the problem and the solution. Or for example, you always have a choice, because we hear people all the time say, well, I don't have a choice. Yes, you have a choice. If you don't live in a country that impedes you from speaking out, and you're not imprisoned, and you are not a repressed human being, you definitely have a choice. What doesn't always give us a choice is our mind. Our minds get in the way, right? We feel imprisoned. We all have. We've all experienced this some form or another. So when we look at this problem, many times when we say to all of you, or some of us do, and my colleagues and I, we talk about this. I'll let that plane go by. When you hear people use the phrase, you always have a choice, it can rub the wrong way at times. So when you have this problem, which you don't know which way to go, you're stuck, it's not like one day you're going to look at that problem, you go to a coach or a therapist, and all of a sudden they're going to magically burst that bubble, and all of a sudden your problem is going to go away. I think the majority of you watching this video realize that you wouldn't believe that necessarily either. What a lot of people don't talk about, that I would like to discuss, is that there's a process. There's a process from your problem and then finding solutions to manage or to view things. What doesn't make our problems easier is definitely the disempowered feeling that we have. We feel disempowered. We feel that somebody else has put us in a position or compromised us. But if you really start to look at it, we're the ones that have made the choice to compromise ourselves because of low self-esteem, lack of self-love, lack of self-care, not knowing healthy boundaries, and the list goes on. Or tradition, religion. It doesn't matter what it is, it's still conditioned. And so we hide behind those things. We hide behind that and think that, oh, well, we just don't have a choice. But when you start digging, when you start realizing, you actually do. So what do? Again, we don't expect the therapist, or we go into therapy or coaching sessions to all of a sudden make that problem go away. What we end up doing eventually is that we employ techniques, exercises, different modalities to help us understand what is going on in our minds, what is going on emotionally and psychologically, that we put ourselves in that stuck feeling, because we cannot change other people. So let's take the typical, I don't like my relationship because of X, Y, and Z. Whoever that relationship is, with your child, with your parent, with your husband, wife, girlfriend, whatever, doesn't matter. Okay? Relationship. And this person behaves X, Y, and Z way. Well, it's natural that we blame, that's the first inclination because we've been conditioned to do that. But when we start looking at things, we start realizing that we are also participant of that. Some people say, well, I never said anything. I allowed this person to do what they wanted. I gave them the freedom to whatever. Well, that could be a problem. I think I've said that before other times. That in itself could have been the problem, is that you enable too much. I don't know. I'm just saying. So when we have this feeling of being stuck, and all of a sudden you go through a personal development process and you realize in the middle of the personal development process, oh my God, this is like hard. This is painful. Oh my God, maybe I shouldn't have. Oh, what am I doing? And then you start looking at the other person and you start looking at yourself, and you're like flabbergasted and sometimes even shocked. That is personal development. And that's what I want to encourage all of you, or educate you and inform you. That is personal development. Personal development is not about going to whatever modality or new age thing, whether it's astrology or tarot card or church or synagogue or whatever modality you can think of. It's not going to that and thinking like, oh, I'm such a good person and I've got all these wonderful gifts, and somebody's going to tell you, oh, you're so wonderful, you're so compassionate, and so and we become enamored with the fact that we're being given some compliments, which may be very true about ourselves. But actually, what we want to do is we want to look at the areas of ourselves that are hidden. And personal development, when done properly and efficiently, allows us to see ourselves kind of objectively. And we're able to integrate these aspects of ourselves that are not always so pleasant. And in the process, we begin to see the people that we blamed as not so evil, actually. And I want to normalize this for you. I want to make it normal so that you understand that all of this is normal. If you've never been ticked off or angry or whatever, and all of a sudden you find yourself like so overwhelmed with these strong emotions, I also want to say to you, that is normal. It's part of the process from this feeling stuck problem, going through this process to get to the end result. Personal development is a lifelong journey. You can take one journey with a coach for 3, 6, a year time frame. A therapist, the same thing. Oh, I've been going to therapy for 2, 3. You can do that. That's great. If that, you know, if you find that beneficial. However, you want to measure it. You want to measure that things have changed. They might not be as fast as you might not think. That's an expectation that you have, and that's why there's always good to have assessments and know what to expect. But as people, we have to do our homework. We have to be disciplined and committed and invested. We're investing our money. We have to also invest our time. We don't just pay somebody to just then get a result, because at the end of the day, a coach or a therapist can't do that for you. We have to implement. We have to take the time to implement our exercises and our homework, to look at ourselves, to journal, whatever it is that is being given to you. And along the way, in order to see the things we don't like about ourselves is actually liberating, because then you integrate that. You learn to love those parts about you. Because when they come up again, you go, oh, there you go. That's self-empowerment. Self-empowerment isn't about, well, let me just tell you how great you are. You know, I mean, that's part of it, but it's not entirely it. So when we have a problem, when somebody says you have to make a decision, most likely that doesn't mean literally you have to leave the career, leave the boyfriend, leave the whatever, and then all of a sudden your problems are going to go away. There's a process to empower you, to empower yourself, to get to that point where you can either stay or leave. That's the real choice. When your choice isn't about, I'm staying because I'm afraid, I'm staying because I have to pay the bills, I'm staying because of this, because of that, those are excuses. When you can actually be so self-empowered that either you're in the relationship or not by your volition, by your choice, from a very neutral place, when you can say, I don't need you for my happiness, career, boyfriend, parent, dog, I don't know, making it up. That's when you know you're free. And that's what personal development does. Okay, that's part of what it does. So, quick video, again, encouraging you all to live authentically and to realize that personal development is about self-forgiveness. Okay, you guys, have a good one. Namaste and take care. Ciao.